Ayan. Naririnig na rin ka namin. So, naka-headset ka na lang.
Okay na. Yep. Sorry Kanina ko pa okay pa siya eh. Tapos biglang nawala.
Pero Nep, there are 2 cameras. Dalawa yung camera mo. Meron kang
I-off ko
laptop.
yung isa. I-off ko yung isa. Tapos pangat ko off.
Okay.
Ayan.
Ang fun talaga. Ang live talaga. Ang daming ganap. Okay. Alright, mag-hit ka na ba ng broadcast?
Naka-broadcast na.
Okay. O di mag-introduce na tayo. Wait, kung naka-broadcast na. Tingnan ko kung nakikita ko yung stream ha. Let's see. Wala siya. It's not being seen in Facebook. It's only being seen in YouTube. We can't interact sa kanila unless we go to YouTube. So, hindi siya social media live.
Hindi nag-show.
So, ganun si Google Hangout. It's only in YouTube. Okay. So, I believe let's do this. It's our first time to go on live in YouTube. We're very sorry for all of the technical difficulties. I'd rather we go on live now, even in YouTube. And I'll just tag Jobel and Michael Lim here, and then I'll just explain it when I share the link to all of the groups instead of still exchanging it in another video format later. So that's live. That's how a live broadcast is. And with all of the technologies that are happening, they are all different, and we have to be able to be familiar with each of them, no? So ayan. So we're using Google Hangout for the very first time. And thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching us on replay, thank you very much. We're here to answer advanced questions sent to us for our workshop and for Xend's EdAcademy launch. So before we go on and answer your questions, I'd like to introduce Xend's 2 top guys. And I believe I have to turn off my laptop so that you guys would not be able to hear the feedback. Better? There's no there, so that's why there was a feedback. Okay. So
I-mute mo na lang.
I've naka-mute na siya. Perfect. So I'd like to introduce you to 3 men who's with me for the Xend's EdAcademy launch. And the first Xend's EdAcademy launch is all about how to earn dollars in Amazon and eBay. So I'd like to introduce you to JT and Bjorn, and then Neptune. Hi JT, hi Bjorn, hi Nep. So hello, I am going to post for the meantime our YouTube link to all, and then have them to follow us in YouTube and hang out in YouTube. So go guys, go JT.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone, and thanks for actually joining our FB Live. I believe it's now on YouTube, and we'd like to formally announce to the world that we're actually launching the Xend E-commerce Development Academy. It has always been our vision, especially of Bjorn, to actually come out with a launch pad such that we can integrate a lot of entrepreneurs and make them successful. All those passionate individuals and make them successful entrepreneurs. So the first track that we're going to have for the month of May is actually tackling global entrepreneurship, particularly how to earn dollars by selling on Amazon and eBay, 2 of the world's largest online marketplaces. And I feel that this is actually very close to Bjorn's heart because he actually started out as an eBay seller at the age of 19. And of course, on the part of the co-founders of eCFulfill, Nep and Bonnie, of course, you guys have very strong, solid experience too when it comes to selling on Amazon. And you guys did a fantastic job of actually incubating and empowering a lot of those entrepreneurs for the past 2 batches. And we're actually proud to hear and happy to hear that most of your graduates have already started selling products in Amazon, and most of them have already run out of products to sell on Amazon because their products have already been bought. That's a proof of concept of what we guys, our collaborative vision, would always stand for. Maybe we'd like to hear a couple of words from Bjorn.
Yeah, so
Hi, Bjorn.
hi guys, hi everyone. Welcome everyone who's watching, and hello to everyone who will be watching later on the recorded version. JT actually said everything that I was going to say. Um, yeah, I mean, we're really excited about this. Like JT said, we're all about transforming passionate individuals into successful entrepreneurs. This is our first workshop in which that we're tackling the opportunity for anyone to sell local products on Amazon and eBay. We have a lot of other workshops in mind, and we'd love to hear your questions about this particular workshop, or also, your ideas of what else you'd like to learn, and maybe we can make it happen. So, yeah, welcome everyone, and we'd love to start answering any of your questions.
Okay, so let me just because Nep, you can't be seen in the video. Are you just putting off your video, or are you having another technical difficulty? So that probably means he's having another technical difficulty. Let me just go over to him. Hindi ka makita sa video. All right, so maybe we could start how this came about, how we were able to have eCFulfill from the very beginning. While he is figuring out how we could go on video again. So, what really happened was there, perfect. Okay, so I was starting with our story, so maybe you could, tell the story, how you guys were, learned how to sell in Amazon and all that story for eCFulfill.
Sure. So I started selling in Amazon 2015, and hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
So I started selling in Amazon 2015, and because I have a toy collection that I wanted to sell online, and while I was doing that, I encountered several issues from how do I open an account in Amazon, uh, what's how will I receive my payment, how will I transfer my product from Manila to the Philippines. So I encountered all these challenges, so I had to really spend a lot of time, so almost 2 years, to really perfect the ins and outs of selling on Amazon. And starting last year, I found out that we have a lot of Filipino products that we can sell there and sell it competitively. So we have a product that we buy here at 50 pesos and we sell it at 500 pesos. So that's times 10 of the selling price here. So even if I have a lot of cost in terms of logistics, I still earn a profit. So starting November, Bonnie said that maybe the problem that you encountered, maybe other entrepreneurs are also encountering that same issues. So she suggested to run a workshop. So originally we only wanted to run a workshop, but even if we run the workshop, the infrastructure is still not there. They will encounter the same problem. So we founded eCFulfill so that after the workshop, if they want to still continue selling, they have the infrastructure in place, and we have Xend as a partner for the logistics side of it.
Okay, let's go on to their questions. These are the questions that they have, and they have sent it in advance. Let's start with this for Jobel. So these are all Jobel's questions. Which is better, drop shipping or Amazon FBA?
So that's a very good question, and there's no right or wrong. It will still dependent on the product that you are selling. So if you are because drop shipping has its own advantage. It also has its own disadvantage. So let's define first what's drop shipping. So drop shipping is you don't necessarily buy the inventory. So you will find a supplier and you will promote their products. So if the product sells, you'll just inform the supplier to send that product to your customer. So the inventory will not go through you. So the advantage of that is you will have you don't need a lot of capital. So if you're very good at marketing, you can really sell a lot. With Amazon FBA is that you'll buy the inventory and send it to the Amazon warehouse. The advantage of that is customers, especially in the US, if they're member of Amazon Prime, they can get the products immediately within the next 2 days. So that's an advantage for them in terms of the convenience. So in terms of products, if you have, for example, for the Philippine perspective, if your products is really bulky, so for example, a furniture, you cannot use FBA, of course. You cannot just send your products in their warehouse. So that's why what we can offer is that we will send it once there's a buyer, and we will use our logistics side, our logistics scale, so that it will be lower. So basically, it's still dependent to answer, to summarize it. It will be dependent on your product. It will be dependent on your capital, on what fulfillment will you decide. So there's no right or wrong. You can still drop ship even if you're in Amazon. You can do FBA. And during the workshop, we will tell you all that on what are your options, what are your shipping options, so that your shipping system is dependent on your product and maximize your profitability. So
Okay, so
Bjorn, I
I'm
think
kind of,
if you
yeah,
have
I'm kind of getting what you're saying. You're saying that there's no advantage or disadvantage between the two. Okay, so if I am the student, why would I want to do Amazon FBA if there are no, and if you're saying that Amazon FBA is capital intensive, so why? Why would I go for Amazon FBA?
no,
Why
I'm not.
is it
Yeah,
worth it? That's one of the questions
correct.
that
So
was sent to me last night.
I'm not saying there's no both has its own disadvantage and has its own advantage. So dependent on your product. So why Amazon is that you can already send your inventory there in the US. So if someone buys it, they can get it within the next 2 days. And for a US customer, that's really one of their top priority in buying online, that they can get it within the next 2 days. So that's really the main advantage of Amazon FBA. And of course, if you're in Amazon, you'll have access to 200 million of customers. So unlike if you have your own Shopify store, you'll create your own market. But with Amazon, you already have that market.
Okay, but what about Amazon dropshipping? But we'll go back to that question. I have a very, very amazing questions to our two gentlemen from Xend. And this is what led you to create Xend's Ed Academy? Because we know that we're the launch, the e-commerce, how to earn dollars in Amazon and eBay is the launch. But we know that there's this is a series, right? So can you explain to us more about what Xend's Ed Academy is? Because of course we're doing this for the Amazon for Amazon for how to earn dollars in Amazon, but that's only the first topic. I know that it's a series, and can you guys explain it to us, because that's actually a very exciting news for Sense Ed Academy, and I know that they want to know more. So before we answer more questions about Amazon, can you guys explain what Sense Ed Academy is all about?
Right. Well, it all starts with a grand vision of actually transforming passionate individuals into successful entrepreneurs. And we recognize that, the pathway towards becoming a successful entrepreneur could take different forms, sizes, and ways, right? And it could be, it could take the form of end-to-end fulfillment services. It could take the form of becoming a part of our neighborhood partner network. It could take the form of import sourcing platforms. So we thought that why don't we launch this academy, which is more of a practical school, right? More of a school of hard knocks, but actually teach people how to commercialize those business ideas and teach them, impart to them the road tested experience that Xend group of companies have accumulated over the years. So we thought that e-commerce being one of the most exciting and thriving space now, as an industry, as a terrain, as a business landscape, we thought that it could be one of those viable thrusts that the EdAcademy could have. And so if we can have this launch pad of entrepreneurs, if we could have this incubator for passionate individuals to become successful, then it actually makes sense for them to avail of different services that we have as an ecosystem, right? So we're creating this ecosystem of entrepreneurs who would actually want to be successful. It's actually a shared goal that we have, at the back of our head. Yeah, Bjorn, would
Uh-huh.
you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, it was really more about, e-commerce is growing like crazy. I'm sure everyone knows. Everyone wants to participate, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that all of the people who are using or signing up with our services, they all want to participate in e-commerce and earn extra money. But at the end of the day, they need to be taught certain specific skills on how to do these things. And this is kind of the idea behind the Ed Academy is teaching them the specific skills that they need to earn to earn money, and to whether improve their business or start a new business. And it's always going to be around that theme of how can we help transform any willing individual into a successful entrepreneur. And this was the first challenge that we saw that people were interested in, and we have a lot more in store. I think the next possible workshop could be something around you know aside from selling abroad, how can you sell more efficiently locally? How can you source products from other countries? Maybe something around that. We're not really quite set on the next workshop yet. You want to hear what other people have to say, the challenges, and we can kind of build on that. So that's the idea behind Ed Academy, and yeah, we're really excited about this first workshop.
Thank you, JT. Thank you, Bjorn. Okay, so going back to the planet. So earlier you answered the question, which is better, drop shipping or Amazon FBA. Maybe I can go back to that later again. And I'll ask Jobel if she was able to get the gist or not. I'm also chatting with her. So Jobel's next question is, how much is the capital for using Amazon FBA?
Okay, so in terms of the capital, you don't need a lot actually, especially with a workshop. So you only need, of course, attend our workshop, which is around 12,000 plus for to attend the workshop. But after that, because of eCFulfill and our consolidation effort in terms of shipping, you don't need a lot. An example of that is we have our sellers. They can only send 5 units of soaps. So that's less than 500. So to test the market. So you don't really need to spend a lot to test, to export. So it will be up to your product, and we will recommend during the workshop what the products to sell, which are those are profitable, so that anything that you will send, we will make sure that it will sell.
Okay, so I am in touch with Jobel via Facebook Messenger, and she said that she is watching. So hi, Jobel, and so there. Yeah, I agree. So that's what the two of you resolve, and that's what we were able to resolve by partnering with Send. We really don't need much of the. I'm going on low bat, so maybe I can get a charger in a bit. Okay, so that's what we really resolved. Before, the two of you, Gian and you, as Amazon sellers, you needed to buy in bulk and then send all of these in bulk to Amazon FBA. Now, you can send one product just to test if it's going to sell or not, because we consolidate it together. You consolidate it actually, and then Send help us to push it through to the US to Amazon. Is that right, Nep?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we used to buy um, boxes, so around 90 pieces per box, just to have that scale. Because if we buy less than that, our shipping cost will be high. So we need to buy bulk. But with eCFulfill, you just need a couple of items, a couple of units, even one unit, and we'll consolidate it with other sellers, and your cost will not be really high. So that's the good thing about attending the workshop and having that community within eCFulfill.
Yeah. One of the things I would add, Bonnie, would be with respect to the trust of the Ed Academy. I guess the question, the underlying principle in the question is always, if you're an entrepreneur, you have such a wonderful idea and a product in mind, would would your cash flow prevent you from growing from
Yeah,
going
because that's one of the pain points, cash flow.
right? And one of the things that Ed Academy actually actively offers would be, and this is a concrete question we actually put in our website today. We are actually in a position to help out all those entrepreneurs who actually need financing, or seek capital to actually put up the initial stock of inventory products that they want to sell on Amazon. We can actually help them out. I mean, given certain parameters, right? What we want to do as a learning and a capacity building platform is to actually level the playing field for all of these entrepreneurs, right? We want to empower ideas over capital, right? If you have a nice idea, a business venture in mind, a product that you want to showcase to the world, we don't want to limit you just because you just don't have the money to back it up, right? So it's one of the things we actively offer to the Ed Academy. And for all of you guys want to participate, want to become a part of it, we invite you to join us because even if you don't have the initial cash yet to actually buy a lot of products, then don't be afraid because we have certain options for you guys on how we can help you out.
Thank you, JT. And Jobel is in touch with me again via Facebook Messenger, and Jobel is saying that she's learning a lot in our hangout right now. So thank you, Jobel, and I'm sure everyone will learn so much more once they read or watch the recording again, because we weren't able to maximize social media because we're using Google Hangout in YouTube. So, but there's still a lot of people, there's still a handful of people that are with us. And thank you, Jobel. So, Jobel, I'm going to go answer your next question. I'm going to ask your next question. Just to echo what JT answered, he actually discussed about one of the pain points, which is revolving capital. And revolving capital is really one of the pain points of having e-commerce, and that is actually one of the problems, I would say, that Nep and Gian had before, and that Ed Academy is resolving for you guys. How? You'd have to find out in the workshop. That's actually very exciting. How we were going to solve the revolving capital, you have to find out in the workshop. It's very exciting. Okay, so Jobel's next question is, what is the best, I don't know how to pronounce it, niche? Niche? What is the best niche to sell?
Uh, for Filipinos, I think for Filipino products, our biggest two biggest categories that I can see that we have a lot of potential. One is beauty products and food. For beauty products, I like it because when you're selling in Amazon, you have to consider your shipping cost. And beauty products, cosmetics, they're really small. So it's not bulky, and you can really price higher if you market correctly, if you have a good brand, so you can sell it. And I'll show several examples on the workshop on several Filipino companies and that has a really good brand, and they can sell it higher. And I just met a manufacturer last week, and I was surprised by the production cost of a cosmetics. So it's not really high, and they price it really really high. So the profit, you can have a really high profit margin. The next thing is food. We have high quality of products, and I think that's one of the products that we can compete with other countries. China doesn't have that. They don't have our products, our food products. So
True.
that's our advantage in selling globally. So we have good products. And then the other, I think that we can compete is those either kitchen home accessories. So not really large bulky items, but we have wood products that can be an accessory, a decor for their home. So those three, I can say that we have a lot of potential.
Agree. Totally agree. So actually, Jobel, when I saw that question, I said I can actually really answer this one because beauty products is so is I don't know what it is. It's just we women, we love our beauty products. We just buy and buy and buy and buy. I know that our gentleman guest from Xend can also testify how how strong and how in demand in e-commerce beauty products are. So can you guys share your experience in e-commerce when it comes to beauty products, because I know that you guys in transit you can see all the products that are going in and out of your riders, getting it and delivering it from the customers. And can you share your experience about this niche in beauty products?
Yeah, I
So
would say
yeah.
beauty products is definitely the number one category, right? For importation,
Yeah.
if the top two products that we import are two different brands of lipsticks. Um,
Oh, hey,
yeah,
I like that. What's
yeah.
that?
So, make any type of women's product, but really more on the cosmetic side and beauty side, even outbound, right? There's
Yeah.
there's a huge, by far again the number one category is makeup, right? But
Yeah.
it's not lipsticks. It's really more of different types of soaps
Yeah.
and creams and stuff like that. So makeup is definitely a huge opportunity.
Yeah. So it seems that the global e-commerce, it's really beauty products. And this is why in South Korea, they are able to have per street, they have ten stores of beauty products. And I'm wondering who buys them. Eventually, there really is a market, and the stores are just maybe for show in their country, and they're probably imported or exported in countries all around the globe. All right, so Jobel's last question before we go to Mike Klim's question is, and this is Jobel's last question. How about the tax regulations here and in the US? If I decide to sell in Amazon FBA, what do I do for the what do I do for the tax regulations?
Yep, I think that's one of the advantages of attending the workshop, because we will make it easier for you to set that tax in Amazon. If you're not familiar, if you have not tried it, you're really be very confused of the process. But with our guidance, it is easy, with probably 5 steps, and you're set up already.
Five steps.
So that's the advantage of attending the workshop.
Mm.
And in terms, is it complicated? No, it's not. So we'll make the rule is really simple if you know it. So if you don't wanna complicate yourself, you can attend our workshop, and we will guide you on that.
Okay. All right. So, Jobel, that answers all of your questions. Do you have any more? Thank you for joining us. I will attend the workshop. So, Jobel just sent me a message and said that she will attend the workshop. Perfect, Jobel. We will see you. I can't wait to see you and get to meet you in person. And I will now go to Mike Lim's question. So, Mike, we met Mike in one of the talks, the business talks that we have attended. And Mike's question is, how much is the cost if we ship one by one for send for our eBay sales? What's the procedure for this? And it's not an Amazon question. Mike is really asking specifically for eBay there. Yeah, so I'll leave it up to you, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends how you want to ship it to your buyers, whether it's from the Philippines directly. We have 3 different methods of how you can ship it, from anywhere from getting there in 2 weeks to 1 week to a few days. If you want to sell it or want to ship it from the US, there also is a service which we are partnered with eCFulfill for, and it's called Fulfillment by Genio. And so you can have some of the advantages of fulfillment by Amazon without having to sell on Amazon. So you can sell on eBay and still fulfill your products locally, which does make a big difference. There's a lot of buyers out there who do filter out their search results by what is shipped from within their own country. So, I mean, it really depends. I mean, if you can give me like which kind of option you want, we can definitely give you a custom quote for that.
All right. Thank you, Bjorn. Okay, so I believe this one we will all four of us will answer as our it's probably our ending question, or maybe let's ask. You may have any other questions about the workshop. So this is something that came from my discussion last night. He's probably an advanced e-commerce seller. This was something that I've mentioned at the beginning of our video. He kind of mentioned that he really wants his vision is to contribute to the community of Cebu. And he wants the handicraft community to thrive again. And that's one of the things that he wants to happen, his vision for Cebu. And because of that, he's wondering if this is something that he can take to Amazon, the handicrafts. And because he's been wondering about this, and his friends have been telling him that Amazon FBA is not worth it. It's not worth it shipping from the Philippines. Before we met Send, so this is my answer, and I'm sure I'll give to you your separate answers to that question. Before we met Send, that is true. It's not worth it before we met Send. But now that we have the process in place, I would definitely say, go for it. You will not regret it because we have a profitability computation that we also teach at the workshop, and we either approve or disapprove you selling, so you don't have to put up a lot of capital, because by data science, we predict immediately if your product is going to sell or not. So here's I'll give the mic to Nep to answer that as well. Yeah,
Yep.
Nep.
So I have a perfect example for that. I met a client last Saturday, and they been in the business for 60 years. So they have a product. So I cannot say the product, but they have a product that is really good product. It's a handicraft as well. but it's from the Philippines. If you're using it different in the Philippines, it has a different use. Um, but when I search it in the US, it's being used as a decor, a home decor.
Mhm.
Um, so initially, I was really hesitant on their product.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's gonna sell, but when I look, I did my research. We can really sell it at a higher price, and it sells okay, good in every month. So to answer the question is yes, it is worth it. But we need to be very smart in terms of product selection.
Yeah.
Um,
Agree?
so not all we can sell. So we will pick
Mhm.
which is profitable, which we know that will sell, so that
Mhm.
it will cover all the cost. And to answer
Okay.
yes, to so that it's worth it.
Okay. So I also throw the questions to our gentleman from Send because I know that Bjorn put up Send 14 years ago with a similar vision. Because this guy's vision is to contribute to the community of Cebu. Nep and Gian's vision was to how can we contribute to the Philippines, to the Filipino products? How can we make it global? And I know that Bjorn has the same vision 14 years ago when he started Send. So, Bjorn, how did you during that time 14 years ago how did you identify if it was worth it putting up Send and with all of the with all of the with all of the maze that we go through and challenges that we have to resolve as entrepreneurs. What was your guiding light when you put up Send 14 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I had no idea that if it would succeed or not. I mean, I guess that's just the risk taker in me. Um, and I mean, ever since even 14 years ago, I mean, I'm not particularly passionate about logistics. Um, it was really about kind of being passionate about entrepreneurship and just kind of going through the challenges every day of an online seller. I knew that there were at that time probably only hundreds of people like me, and I thought that was worth it already. But we've been patient over the years. Now there's millions of people out there that need help and assistance and guidance. And it was just really about, kind of, definitely challenging in the beginning. The market was very small, but, we've been very patient. And now we have the opportunity to help millions of people potentially. Um, but just, I just want to answer that other question of, I don't know who asked it about the Cebu handicrafts, right? Um, because I definitely think there's an opportunity there. Um, I can say that because when I was first selling online, um, I guess this wasn't 14 years ago. This is more maybe a little more recent. I was selling, kind of things maybe might be considered handicrafts. Definitely Philippine made, Philippine kind of crafted. At one point in time, I was selling custom billiard sticks from the Philippines, shipping from the Philippines to to the U.S. mainly. Um, so it's really, I mean, just like what you said, it's about product selection. Of course, if you're going to sell, a custom-made, chair, that might be a little difficult because it's going to be very bulky. Um, but there are opportunities in very in specific product lines, mainly possibly and probably smaller things, but yeah, I mean, I would say go for it, and I'm really excited to kind of hear and maybe even see what ideas you know this person has about around what products that they have in mind.
Thank you, Bjorn. So there are questions that have been sent to me. They're also watching in Google Hangout. So so a shout out to Joy. Hi, Joy from Baguio. So Joy is asking, how can we have the Sense Ed Academy in Baguio? So JT, they're asking for the Sense Ed Academy
Right.
in Baguio for how to earn dollars in Amazon and eBay. Is there going to be a run nationwide? No, Baguio first. That's what they're asking.
Well, I'm gonna answer that with a straight yes, right? One of the
Yes. Oh my gosh.
things that I would closely share with each other is that we have a hair, we have a very healthy disregard for the impossible, right? I mean, Bjorn started the business just by selling online on eBay. He mentioned about colored sticks, and now we're 14 years down the road, right? So, and when we develop and ideate the commerce development academy, we never thought that we're gonna launch as fast as this, right? And we never thought that we're gonna have very strong collaborators like you and the rest of the guys that we have on the poster, and a community who's actually very passionate, becoming more than what they are right now. So if you tell me that there's actually a community whose passion is so strong in Baguio, then we'll take it to Baguio, right? So you give, I'll promise you guys, we'll put it up, in Baguio. We'll plan about it already, and then watch out. We're gonna be there in Baguio.
Yay, Joy! So you hear that? I'm very happy. I'm very happy, Joy. We're going to go to Baguio. I'm not sure if Nep is happy. I am. But he wants to go to Baguio. I know Nep has been wanting to go to Baguio. So, and they're asking, because we are going to go to Baguio, since Ed Academy is going to Baguio, will they be able to send their products from Baguio to Amazon, or will it be more costly from there to Amazon? So is that something that I know you can say, I know, because it's a process. Maybe you cannot say yes or no at the moment, but what's your, in your mind right now, the process of sending products from Baguio? For example, ube jam, because it's something that everyone in the whole wide world wants, even non-Filipinos, even Caucasian Americans wants ube jam. I don't know if I said Caucasian American very politically correctly, but anyway, so there, ube jam. Everybody wants the ube jam, and they're looking for it everywhere else in the whole wide world. So if they ship ube jam from Baguio to Amazon, is it the same cost as shipping it from Manila? Can you guys, gentlemen from Xend, that's for you guys.
Well, I mean, I think in the beginning, just to take advantage of the scale that we have in Manila, they would most likely have to ship products over to Manila so we can consolidate, so they can save more. So it might be in the beginning a little more expensive. It wouldn't be prohibitive to being profitable. But once Baguio becomes big enough to consolidate from there, then the pricing should be about the same. But yeah, either way, it still should be a great opportunity.
Thank you, Bjorn. So this next question from Joy, still from Joy of Baguio, is directed to Nep. Nep, Joy is asking, they have natural beauty products made in Baguio. There. So she's asking, would natural, it's not related to the beauty products, would natural health supplements be accepted as well in Amazon Net?
Whoa. So supplements, it's accepted. You can sell, but you need additional certifications like FDA. So if you have that, you will not have the issue selling in the US. So as long as you have papers, your certifications, you can sell that.
Okay, so FDA approval is only from the Philippines. Should it be an international FDA approval, NEP? I'll answer that. Joy, I believe it's international FDA approval. So the one who needs to get the international FDA approval is the manufacturer for trade and compliance. So yeah, I've been through so many workshops as well that I am able to answer these kinds of questions. So Joy, do you have any more questions? Uh, Joy is typing. Joy is typing. Let me see if we have other questions from our. Oh, there. So Mike replied to Nep and said, okay. So Mike is watching the replay. There, Nep. Okay. So, okay. She's claiming that the health supplement has an international
Yep.
FDA.
So
Okay. I
one
believe we're
sorry,
done.
sorry.
Yeah, Nep.
One thing to consider when selling in the US, as long as the supplements are not claiming um, that it cures a disease or something like that, so it's okay. So make sure that those packaging does not have a health claims, and you'll be okay.
Perfect. All right. I believe I believe we're done. Yay. So thank you. We've answered their questions. I know there are more for those who will watch the replay or the recorded. And since this is automatically in YouTube, the happy thing about this is immortalized and saved in YouTube, and anyone can Google this. I know a lot of people were able to find eCFulfill in YouTube, and they can comment down below and ask any of us questions, and we can still answer them at the chat box, at the comment box. So thank you. Before we say goodbye, I want to invite everyone for Sense Ed Academy's launch. This is this May 19 and 26. It's at Penn Brothers Sheridan. We've been there. It's such an amazing place. That was the venue of our batch 2 of our workshop. It's an amazing co-working place. It's like, the co-working place now, they have a Silicon Valley feel. That's how you feel when you're there. All right. And please register. We will post the registration link in this YouTube video, and in Xend's page, it's also there. In eCFulfill's page, it's also there. We have a 10% cashback from Shopback, our partner from Shopback. And you also have a discount from Manila Workshop. So you choose either Manila Workshop or Shopback, wherever you were able to find us. Okay, so before I say goodbye, gentlemen, do you have last words that you want to say, invitations for all of them, starting with Bjorn, JT, then Neptune. So Bjorn.
Yeah, I'm really excited for our first workshop. I invite everyone to register, and I look forward to seeing, hearing, and answering any questions that all of you guys have. So register now. Thank you.
Thank you, Bjorn.
Well,
JT.
yeah, for the Ed Academy, I just want to inculcate and foster your thinking that the Academy is ours in as much as it is yours, right? So treat this as your launch pad for your next successful venture. If you're already an existing entrepreneur, then consider this as a springboard towards bigger successes ahead, 2018. And also, as a vice president for partnerships of Xend, this Ed Academy wouldn't have been made possible had not been for the other collaborators to actually share their vision in transforming passionate individuals into successful entrepreneurs. I'd like to give a quick rundown of all of those collaborators. Of course, the Digital Commerce Association of the Philippines, a little workshop. Hi, Ginger, and the rest of the guys.
Hi, Ginger.
Of course, from Pushkar.ph, our very good friend Joshua Ragon and Suraj. From Funko, Dex, Anthony, and Andy there. UHOP, of course, we'd like to congratulate our partners striking this recent partnership with an international guy. Of course, Chris, JK, and the rest of the guys from Shopback. So don't forget, we have a listing page on Shopback. You can actually get 10% cashback if you register at Xend Academy. Of course, our friends Alex and Patrick from First Circle. We have Arts to Art who's recently coming on board as a corporate account that's going to ship via Xend. Of course, our very good friends from the media, Inquired Television, Talk Show Nation, Roger Inquired, DCIQ 990 AM, Mr. Rolly Pagaspas, Eric Juco, our program executives. Of course, Stash Tech and MyStartups.ph, our very good friends, Chris and
Hi,
Zen.
Chris and Sen.
And of course, Bitsy are also one of our key corporate accounts. So we'd like to invite and join everyone to actually make it happen. If you have an idea that you want to commercialize, you want to sell in the two biggest online marketplaces in the world, this is the best platform to actually learn all those skills and something that is worth attending to two intensive Saturdays.
Thank you, JT. And yeah. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
JT. So, yeah, and Neptune.
Yep. So I'm excited to
You're
impart
excited.
my knowledge in selling in Amazon. So as for eCFulfill, our goal is to
Mhm.
make selling global easy. So
Yeah.
that's really our goal. So
Mm.
I'm inviting everyone to join us on our workshop. So that's it.
Thank you, guys. So, perfect. I'll just upload this YouTube video and share it to everyone so that everyone can watch the recorded replay. And again, thank you for taking your time to watch us. And thank you, gentlemen from Sen, from taking out on your busy time in the corporate world to join us. So, thank you, guys. And see you on May 19 and 26 for our How to Earn Dollars in Amazon and eBay workshop in Penn Brothers, Sheridan, and Mandaluyong. Bye!